Hey everybody, welcome to Tattooed in Business. I'm your host, Brian Merrill, and this is Sales and Life Through the Eyes of a Gen X male who happens to be in corporate sales for the last 20 years, and my views on what I've seen throughout my sales career. So I thought this would be a fitting topic going into the new year, and just had a similar situation happen. And not pointing fingers or anything, but kind of to map it out that how to do this effectively. So this is entitled "Negotiating Your Worth." So this is something that a lot of companies, entrepreneurs struggle with. I've noticed inside my networking group that I'm in through a nationwide platform. My local group that I work with, that I'm in, we're very sales heavy, very sales driven. So we don't seem to have a problem so much with this. It's an easy discussion for us. But what I find out there with a lot of coaches, service provided industries where they have their niche, counseling services, whatnot. They don't have a sales background, so they have a hard time negotiating, charging for their services that they offer, putting a price tag on them. And this also goes to in play when you decide as a salesperson, account manager, whatever, that you want to renegotiate your contract with your company and make changes to the agreement you have. So the first thing I'm going to recommend to anybody out there who's in the sales game, I read this book back in the early 2000s, like maybe 2006 or 7, somewhere around there. Was a book given to me by Mike Doty, a guy that I worked with at a Harley dealership for a lot of times, and him and I got to be real close friends and loved working with each other. Like we butt heads and stuff, and I always loved that. That's when you know you have a great relationship, is if you butt heads on some sales and stuff, because you always want to maximize the profits. And Mike and I had a great relationship. We had very few disagreements on anything, but we worked really well together. So I was going out for back surgery. So I guess it was 2009. I was going out for back surgery, and he gave me this book called "Your Success is Your Own Damn Fault." I always say his name wrong. I don't know the correct pronunciation of it, but it's Larry Winget, and I believe that's how you say his last name. Success, or yeah, success is your own damn fault. And reading this book really kind of put it in perspective for me as a salesman at that particular point in time. And I had left advertising sales and went into motorcycle sales. And I wished I'd read this book beforehand when I was in advertising sales. The premise of the book maps out a lot of things. But the biggest takeaway I got out of that is, as a salesperson, you are entitled to a safe work environment and honoring the contract that you negotiated when you came in, unless it's changed from there on. So, in the world of sales, I always say this: if you're not happy with what you make, it's your own damn fault. You have a chance to go out and change that every freaking day. If I don't like what I'm making, then go sell something. You want to raise? Go sell something. I mean, that's really what you're there for. Now, I was lucky. When I went to Southern Tier Harley, and I've never had this happen anyplace else. So when I went to Southern Tier Harley, I was a new, I don't know how to, like a hybrid position that they created. Every sales guy used to be on salary. The waiting list went away for new bikes. So the owner of the place at the time, or still is the owner to this day, Larry Brooks, and the sales manager, Deb Tartanian, they put together a plan to have a commission-based sales team. And so when the guys were laid off for the winter and they brought them back, they said, hey, look, this is the new plan. You're going to have a base salary, basically was enough to pay for your gas and groceries for the week, so minimum wage. And then you were going to receive commission based on gross profit of the sale of the motorcycle. So we had one guy that was part-time that was only paid hourly. That's what was screwing our system, because we weren't all on the same page at that point. However, we got on the same page. So every day, if I didn't like what I made, I had the opportunity to change it. After the first year, and I've never had this happen anyplace else, after the first year, Larry just happened to be the one that delivered the news to me. I know it was something that him and Deb had talked about and everything. But he come by me and he goes, by the way, you're getting a raise. We're going to change your commission structure, because I realized the one I put in front of you, would not warrant what I guaranteed you would make. It was too low. And I'm not joking when I say the next day when I came in, I had a new pay plan and it was better. And I respected the hell out of him for that, because he recognized that he lowballed us based on gross profits and where they were at the time, sales where they were at the time, and he guaranteed me that we would never be capped on how much we could make, and he realized it was kind of capped. So he changed it up. They changed it up a couple more times over the years, which was fine. I was able to make it function with what my requirements were and everything. So that's the first time I ever had that happen to me. So when first thing you need to do is you really need to figure out what your time is worth. Okay, so your knowledge is worth something. Without a doubt, you're in the service industry, your knowledge is worth something. When you are selling counseling type of services or a non-tangible, you don't have a hard product, you're selling a service, you really need to figure out what your time is that you're going to invest in it is, and what you're being taken away from that, that you would otherwise be doing, and truly think about your expenses. And I think that's where the confusion comes in, because I don't care if you're working out of your house and you're a therapist, you still have electric, right? You still got to pay for that. You still got to pay for your heat. I would encourage, if you work out of a home space, treat it like you were renting your office. So take a look at the square footage you were lowball it, of course, but figure out, hey, if I was to rent a place of this, it would cost this. Factor that in there, okay? And then there's nothing wrong with seeing what the other industry people are playing. And it's easy to come down, but it's hard to come up. So you're better off starting with a higher rate for yourself. And you have to deliver value, right? So I have to perceive. So if you tell me that you want me in your mastermind group, and your mastermind group is $10,000 a month, I better be getting a hell of a value to come in that for $10,000 a month for me to justify that $120,000 a year I'm going to give you to be mentored by you and grow. So I need to determine in my head what I'm willing to pay for that. Now, you can price yourself sticker shock, so you do have to watch it. That's why you need to kind of find what your industry standard is. Same thing when you're going for a raise for your job or whatnot. And I want to make sure this is clear. There's nothing wrong with going in every year or whatnot and try to negotiate a contract with your employer to renegotiate your pay. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're doing it every year and you can't back up why you deserve it, that's a problem. The other thing is make it easy. All right, so I'm a sales manager. You want a raise. You come into me and you verbally tell me what you want. First of all, I don't mean to sound like an asshole, but you are not the most important thing in my time when you come in. All right. If you haven't scheduled that appointment with me, first of all, you're blindsiding me. Okay. I don't want to be blindsided. Do you? So if you're okay being blindsided, then self-awareness is the next thing we'll talk about. So don't walk into somebody's office unannounced all day and just come in with a list of demands. Secondly, so first thing, schedule an appointment to talk about it. Secondly, have some reasons and facts to back it up with, okay? Just come in and say, hey, I want to raise. Hey, prices of things have gone up. I'm still working, gas is gone. Talk about these things, okay? Thirdly, put it in fucking writing. Don't make the sales manager or the owners have to ask you to put it in writing, because first of all, you don't want a verbal agreement. You want it in writing. So if you have it all in writing and it looks even remotely possible that that I'd be open to it, and you're performing and you're doing your job, and you hand it to me right there and then, and I might literally take 10 minutes, sign the fucking thing, and say, you got it, because you've already done the work. You've shown me that you give a shit. That's important. That's more important than the ask, is having it in writing. Okay? Next, make sure without a shadow of a doubt that you're prepared to answer any questions. Okay? Don't be confrontational. Don't be bent out of shape in any way, shape, or form. You have to respect the fact that as your employer, they have a right to ask you questions. Be professional. Do not go around your immediate supervisor, right to ownership or whatever. Give them a heads up, because then you're putting them on the spot and you're creating controversy. Do not do that. Nobody likes it. You need to put yourself in that position and think to yourself, if I was giving me a raise or going to consider me for a raise or pricing my goods or service, what would I expect? Self-awareness, okay? Be self-aware when you're doing this. I can't emphasize that enough. Now, if you don't have it in writing and you didn't put it in writing, and you receive email, text, whatever, ask you to put it in writing, and there's a deadline. If you can't hit that deadline, immediately say, I can't have it to you by then. I have whatever going on. Is it okay if I have it to you by, and put it out there? When you put it out there, it's a contract. If you agree, first of all, don't fucking thumbs up things when people send you a text that say, okay, fucking answer them. Okay, that's one of the biggest problems with some of these millennials and everybody coming up. Texting makes you look and sound stupid and lazy. Don't let it make you sound stupid and lazy. Answer questions. Don't just like. If you like it, then I'm going to tell you right now, then I see that as an agreement. You're agreeing to what I just asked you for. And if you don't hit that deadline, you're showing me that you really don't care. That you're not, that I mean, it's one, it's rude. Okay. Two, it looks stupid. I mean, think about it. There's a lot of common sense when it comes into this stuff. You want to make sure you're communicating with your employer like you would communicate with a customer, right? You want to make sure that when you're setting your price on services, that if you were asking for your services, you would expect to pay X amount of dollars, and here's why, and receive this value for it. I hope that helps with a lot of people that are struggling with how to set the pricing for themselves. A lot of us work from, or I shouldn't say a lot, I don't work from home. A lot of people work from home now. Virtual assisting, guys, can save your business. You know, if you're looking for a virtual assistant, and I hate that term because it's not a virtual assistant. They are someone who's going to be your management system. They're going to get you on track, help you event plan, whatever. They are, or could be, a huge key to you. You don't want the cheapest one. You want one that you feel comfortable with, you feel that you can communicate well with, and that is going to truly look out for your interests, get the job done. And they deserve to be compensated for that. Have those conversations. Look, we've all been in a boat where we're starting up a business and money is tight and your budget is zero, right? You don't have extra to pay for this stuff. So as you grow and you start to make more money, reward those around you. I'm going to tell you right now, I just had somebody walk in my office, totally blindsided me, comes in with the owner. I'm in the middle of trying to invoice customers for their year end because they need to get it in. That's what's important. They stood right over top of me. Is this a good time? Absolutely is not a fucking good time, but you're not going to leave until I listen to you. So I finally, all right, yes, of course I'm going to listen to you. Yep. And I literally I yes you. I'm going to yes you. Yep. Yep. And the minute you leave, I get my stuff done. Then I'm going to say, okay, now we need to talk about this. I'm yesing you to get you the fuck out of my office so I can do what I need to do. You blindsided me. You came in, not a good start. Secondly, you didn't have it in writing. Strike number 2. You didn't have it in writing for me to even review after you left so I could ask you questions. 3, if I come back to you and say, hey, look, I need you to send me this stuff, and you agree to it, God damn it, you better hit that deadline because you're disrespecting me and you're disrespecting company. Remember this, a sales manager's position is a buffer between ownership and the employee. Sales manager's job is to take care of ownership first, get them to where they want to be, and look out for their best interest first. You're also there to make sure that your salespeople have all the tools and are being compensated as they deserve to be compensated for the work and services. You are not going to be liked. Your job is not to be liked. You are not there to be their buddy. It's your job to implement the whatever the sales processes or the processes, sales procedures in place, and to enforce them. Okay, I've been on both sides of this, guys. I've been the prima donna salesperson that has, and in this book that I talked about, there's called the superstar rule, where the superstar doesn't have to do all this stuff. Okay, been in that role. Okay, but I still did what was asked of me. I still, the worst case scenario, you get somebody assigned to help you with your freaking paperwork. So a big thing that's being looked at and been super successful in sales is you have sales teams now. You have a salesperson, account manager, and a customer service rep all working together. And it's successful. Now, you got to have the volume rolling in on it. And a salesperson, I'll tell you this as a salesperson, never be afraid to compensate out of your own fucking pocket your team. Buy them a gift card, whatever. Never be afraid to do that. Bird dog people. And just quick note, keep this in mind. If your prospecting is completely contingent on somebody else taking you into someplace else and you can't do it yourself, remember this. You are expendable and you are making yourself expendable. The person that's taking them in, I would rather 1099 them and pay them than fucking pay you to meet with them on my time, waste my fucking resources to get get information and have them take you into a place. The relationship isn't really there. You need to work. Be willing to come into work. Your success is your own damn fault. Maybe the best book I've ever read. It's a very easy read. This can help a lot of people that struggle with knowing where you should be. And I highly recommend it for this new generation of salespeople coming out there. And I'm not saying they're all like this, but here's the other thing. Remember this. And I've said this before. Check your ego at the door. Check your entitlement at the door. And you need to humble yourself. Without that team that gets all your stuff done, your creative services, your production, all that stuff, you don't make a penny. I don't care how much you sell. You do not make a penny. Do not take them for granted. And you do not ever want to get to a point where they don't feel that you respect them and what they do, because you will be dead in the water. I hope this helped. I think it was a good topic to have going into the new year. A lot of people renegotiate things, and I love it when that comes up there. But there are ways that you will be successful. If you, and just again, I'm just going to rehash really quick. To be successful in the negotiation process for a raise or whatnot, make sure, 1, schedule a time. Do not blindside anybody. 2, have it in writing so that it's easy to be processed. Okay? Huge difference. 3, and these aren't in order from what I said earlier, be prepared to have a discussion about what you just asked for. 4, during that discussion, do not be confrontational in any way, shape, or form, even if you lose your temper. I might be trying to push your buttons just to see what you do. Be respectful, be professional, answer the questions to the best of your ability. Try to have the answers. You're not going to know all of them. And 5, make sure if you're asking for something that you deserve it and you can prove that the yield that you're asking for is going to be there. 90%, well, maybe not quite that high, 85, maybe 80% of the time, you're probably going to get a negotiation back. Okay? It's reality. If you walk in, I just give you everything you ask for every time you ask for it, then, one, I'm shitty at my job. I mean, that's reality. I'm shitty at my job. And two, I'm probably freaking, you're probably ain't making a damn penny for me, and I could care less. I don't think about you. So keep that in mind. That being said, everyone have a great new year. Um, Hope everything goes great. Any questions, comments, check us out. Info at, or excuse me, we'll do tattooedandbusiness@gmail.com for any questions. We also have the Facebook page, which is Tattooed and Business. More free to message us on that. And of course, as always, check us out on YouTube under the same title, and of course under Podbean. So Tattooed and Business, I'm your host, Brian, and thank you, and have a great New Year's, everybody.